Done.
All right, sweet. All right, all y'all, thanks for hopping on this call. I'm super excited to spend a little time with Ilene and the rest of you and kind of share some of the story that's brought me over the last 4 years to where I am. I'm Dr. Brimhall. I'm in the Phoenix area, the town called Gilbert. I was introduced to LifeVantage 4 years ago when I was taking care of Carrie Williams' son, Luke. Saw this little boy have this massive change in a matter of 11 days after I worked with him every week for a year, and also did 35 hours of therapy on top of that. And literally just saw him unlock after he started the Axio. One of the first people that I called after I watched him just kind of come out of his shell and just unlock was Ilene. She's been a client and a friend for probably close to 17 years now. So when I started practice when I was 15 years old, she took mercy. And I was fairly new in practice. Started practice when I was 26. I've been around the healthcare field for years. For the last 25 years, I've taught and trained physicians all over Canada, Europe, and the United States. I helped my dad teach about supplements that he helped create, and we teach and train physicians on them. And we trained all over Canada, Europe, and the United States doing that. So I had Ilene doing everything I possibly could to help her. And I always feared when the next relapse was. It's usually when she got really stressed out. She'll talk a little bit about her story. Ilene, where's that bucket of supplements?
It's right here.
So she had this bucket of supplements, and I'm a little upset at myself because she used to be taking all of them, and most of those she got from me. So in the last 4 years of doing the products we're going to talk about from LifeVantage, I'm making a lot less money on her. That's kind of unfortunate. But the reason why I called her, she also had a daughter that was diagnosed with autism, and it was actually I wanted her daughter to start on the product. And literally this young lady, Nicole, is now in college, something we never thought was possible. But we're going to talk about a concept that almost seems like it's too good to be true, especially when I think about Ilene and where she was 4 years ago and where she is today, saving thousands of dollars on medical expenses because of what these products have done for her health. Her daughter now having choices that she never would have had before. And at the same time, unlocking Ilene's potential where her body is now healing in ways that I didn't know was possible. And I was the one that used to teach the physicians, like I taught the teachers. And to have these tools available to me now to impact other people, you all will now have those tools. So Ilene, thank you for taking a risk on me, not only 17 years ago and let me work with you and your family as part of this journey, but also I know, even though a little coercion, you started the products, but I'd love for you to help them understand what this concept of biohacking is and how we can actually tap into our body's potential that we didn't even know was there, what that's meant for you and your family, and why we're so excited about sharing this information with others. So take it away.
Great. Thank you, Brett. So hi, everyone. I'm Ilene. I'm going to see if I can switch this picture out. I don't know how.
Just leave it like that.
All right. Okay. Well, anyway, so I'm Ilene, and like Brett said, I've seen him for the last 15 plus years. And I came into his office after being diagnosed and sick for the 5 previous years. But basically my story is that 21 years ago, after the birth of my 3rd child, I went blind for the first time. And so at the time I had a 6-week-old, or 2-year-old, and a 4-year-old. And I started having more and more symptoms. And as I progressed through time in this process of this disease that would take my bodily functions, and it would make me so I was exhausted, and there were times where I couldn't drive, and I was in the hospital in and out, enough so that my eldest daughter actually asked her dad that if mommy's new home was the hospital, because I was in and out so much. But fast forward, so during this process, I found naturopathic, and I went 100% medical, and I found that they weren't helping me thwart this disease process that I have, and I went 100% natural and found that they couldn't help me. So I found a balance between the two and just dealt with the down times and just supplemented every single symptom that I was having. And what we're going to learn tonight, and the reason why I'm excited to share it, because I had succumbed to the disease and decided my life was what it was and be grateful for what I had. I did not know nor believe that there could be anything different for me. And as the medical doctors would also tell me, our goal is just to stabilize you. So I took a boatload of supplements. I'd see Dr. Brimhall 1 to 3 times a week just to survive my life. And that's why I'm excited about this technology, because not only has this technology changed my life, it has changed my finances too. And that boatload of supplements that I was taking for every single symptom that I was doing, this is a different technology that went into my body and made a difference in my cells that gave me the quality of life I have today. So biohacking your body, it's basically going into your body, changing what's going on for a different outcome. And oops, I don't know why that didn't switch. And this is called nutrigenomics. It is a new field of medicine that's really exciting and that is going to be more and more heard around us. So to introduce the nutrigenomics, we're going to take a time warp and we're going to go back to 2005 to an ABC prime time that aired, and they came into this biotech company wondering what they had produced, if it was effective or not. So as you watch this video, think about people that you know that need to know this information. See if this information fits for you or not, and look at what they're sharing with the science and how it changed what was going on inside of his body.
The following is an ABC primetime investigative report that aired in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life.
It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig.
Dr. McCord, okay.
I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist.
This is a pretty exciting stuff you're finding.
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And as decades of experiments, they have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
And it's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough.
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Whether that will lead to longer life is still unknown. Experiments to see if mice live longer are about to get underway, but it's a tantalizing theory.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes.
Have you discovered the fountain of youth?
I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down. And so you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. Will Protandim work on me?
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result, my level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
Would you suggest I keep taking this supplement?
I would.
And so, ancient Eastern healing and modern Western medicine may soon be working together. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these: strokes, heart attacks, even mental disease. Yes, depression, Alzheimer's disease, depression. But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old to find out that I should have taken it.
All right, wasn't that amazing? So when I first saw this, I have to admit I was a skeptic, and I said, if that was 10% true, it's better than anything else I've tried. And I also looked at it and was amazed at, I didn't understand the science of oxidative stress or any of that, but how one product could actually affect so many different disease processes. That kind of blew me away. So this originally aired in 2005. And so it was really cool because, you know what, a lot of people saw that and they went to the phones and they wanted to order this product. But what happened was this was a team of scientists in a little lab, and they didn't have enough product to fill over $5 million in orders that came in. And so time passed for them to try to catch up and fill it. And by the time it caught up, they actually were almost ready to go bankrupt. They were looking at getting delisted off of the stock exchange. They're in a quandary of what to do, and this is in 2009. And they bring in a consultant who tells them it needs to go word of mouth. And that's how I got introduced here. And Dr. Brett probably doesn't remember this, but how did I find Dr. Brett? Back in 2001, I was living in Georgia when I first got introduced to chiropractic, and he told me, well, if you ever go out west, there's a Dr. Brimhall, and you should go see him. And who would have known? From Georgia, I moved to Utah, back to Georgia, to Florida, and then we came to Arizona. So it was word of mouth of someone sharing someone else with me. And I was looking for a doctor, and he said, well, you're moving to Arizona, you need to look up Dr. Brimhall. And I didn't know I'd be living right by him. So it's been a real blessing of how we share with each other through marketing and just sharing with each other. So the company actually, when it went network marketing of sharing word to mouth, word to word, we grew from 10 million to over 200 million a year. Another cool thing is that this Protandim has been featured on all of these news stations by their soliciting us, not us soliciting them, which I think is very powerful. So what is oxidative stress? This is the deepest science we'll get into, but this is what's important. We are so exposed to toxins in today's world through the water, through exercise, through gas fumes, that our bodies are just really overwhelmed. And what happens in the body is that these cells that are just stressed out with all these toxins running around, like they showed in the video, that our bodies just can't keep up. So then we see it expressed in every organ of our body, and it depends. For me, it took it out in my neck and brain. For other people, it takes it out in their lungs. Or other people, it can be many things. As you can see on this, free radicals and oxidative stress, it goes into chronic inflammation, autoimmune disorders, asthma, rheumatoid arthritis, kidney disease, ADHD, and those kinds of things in the brain with autism and strokes and cancer. So if we could reduce that amount of toxins in our body by an extra 40% in 30 days, how would that demonstrate to you? For me, it helped me go from living on the couch, because I was one task Ilene, I'd get up and do a task and lay back down, that I actually could get up and do things and live during the day. It changed my entire life and what I'm doing now. So we can say that this product actually reduces the stress in our bodies 40% in 30 days. How that manifests is very exciting. And this other thing that happened after the prime time came out is all these universities from around the world were doing studies in association with oxidative stress. And what they wanted to do was get their hands on Protandim so they could do their studies on oxidative stress and Protandim and see if it changed heart disease or muscular dystrophy or extending life and skin cancer. And all those studies are in, because that was 2005, we're in 2018. Those studies are in and they are all positive. That is so exciting that we have all of that proof that this is real. The other thing that's happened, because this technology is so dynamic, and as I shared, it has helped me just turn my entire life around to where I'm living life vertically instead of horizontally on the couch. Drug companies are making medications to try to use this lowering the oxidative stress. And we'll get to that back in a minute. Until then, so what does our body do to help fight the toxins in our body? It gets antioxidants. And we are all familiar with antioxidants. We're all going to Juice Plus and we're going to Nectar Juice, getting these expensive drinks, getting direct oxidants, which are from our healthy foods. And when you get those, they're effective, but they're only a 1-to-1 ratio. If we can go inside of our bodies, this is what's cool. Your body can actually make those antioxidants, like he showed in the video of where they were going around like the Pac-Man eating them up. 1 million to 1. So it's like putting a fire hose on a house burning rather than a cup of water. That is what we want to do in our bodies, and that's why it reduces those toxins 40% in 30 days. This way, like you have the water hose to thwart the water, to be able to get those antioxidants in the body, they go through what we call the NRF2 pathway. This is going to become a term that we're all familiar with within the next few years. And this is a study that was done on that pathway and activating it. And what Washington State University said was NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. And this is what I've experienced
That's awesome.
Therapeutic. And Dr. Brimhall, how are you using it preventively?
Yeah, there's that statement, like therapeutic and preventative. Like, and for a university to come out and say, hey, if we can figure this out, if we can figure out how to make this switch do things, like we have a potential to not only be therapeutic, but for treatment, but also prevention. Right? That's unbelievable to think that that's what we have our hand on, and to know that Protandim is the most potent product on the market and all natural. And think what's happened in your world, right? And how that's affected your body, how it manifests you, and then everybody else. Like anybody that lives on this planet that has oxidative stress now has something they can do to use for prevention, let alone when you have active processes going on inside your body. Unbelievable.
You're right. And so that's what I've experienced. And so this Nerf2 product, like I was just telling you a couple of slides ago, drug companies are trying to also make a product that can compare to Protandim and what it does. One of those drugs is actually for multiple sclerosis. So my first diagnosis was multiple sclerosis. And I can tell you as a person with that just to avoid the down times, that would be totally worth taking a medication. And that's what I ended up doing, was taking a medication to thwart that. I'm just going to try to mute whoever that was who just came on. Maybe that's too hard to do it that way. I apologize.
You can mute everybody if you want, and then unmute again.
Okay, let me do that. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're back on. Oh, didn't unmute you.
I got it.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you're agile with this whole thing. So this is really cool because this drug is actually very effective in reducing relapses in people. And I will tell you, a relapse can look like not being able to speak. It can look like wet noodle body, where your body just has no muscle tone at all. There was one time my kids put a napkin on my hand and I couldn't even lift it off the table. It can create numbness, pain. I'm blind because of, I'm blind in one of my eyes because of this process of the disease. And so Protandim, they took their pill and then they went and compared it with Protandim. And what they found was, by their own research study, said here in the dark black, interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer and therefore may be most suited as a therapeutic strategy. So here we have Protandim, which is a natural product and $41 a month, versus a medication with side effects that's $5,000 a month. There's a huge difference there, and they can guarantee 50% less relapses. That's huge. I have handicaps because of it. I know my video isn't up there, but I can't lift my right arm above my head because of relapses. But think if you could take care of that. And the coolest thing of all, and I hope you all can draw your own conclusions to this, like he said in the video, it's not only cancer and depression, it's every process in the body. So knowing that Protandim is a protein inducer is very exciting. So I'm going to turn this back over to Dr. Brimhall.
All right. Okay, guys. So let me kind of recap a couple of these Ilene that I think is unbelievable. Like, and I really had no idea this was happening with Ilene. It wasn't that I wasn't giving her good supplements. Like the supplements we created, like to me, they're the best on the planet to try to help what we knew to do at the time. What we're talking about is a brand new technology that allowed us to tap in the body's potential to do things that we didn't know was possible before. So like, just like these cell phones allow us to do things that we didn't know was possible, right? I don't even know how this thing works. I just want to know, I just want to be able to use it, right? And the more I know how to use it, the more effective I can be. So what we can say about Protandim, it's this brand new science where it activates this process in our body, helps us heal and repair faster. So we're not cured, treated, or preventing anything. What we're doing is we're literally turn on these switches inside our cells that are already there. And you don't have to have a condition to benefit. Like, so if you're aging faster than you want to, or you don't want to age any faster than you're going to, what are there other options that you have? Like, we're all trying to do something, whether it's exercise, eat clean, live in Hawaii, right? Like somebody on the call, right? Reduce their stress levels, right? But what other things can you do? So if there's something that has the potential that's called the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of medicine, and it's the NRF2 pathway, and you can use that switch and you can activate it with the all-natural herbal product that's got phenomenal research behind it, would you want to? Right? And that's what we're sharing with you tonight. So we know it reduces by oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. We know that there's 10-year study showing an extended lifespan. We know where the certification's in place, that what's in it is actually in it. And that from the Advanced Substance Control Group, we know that athletes can take it and be safe with their, to be able to compete, right, and not have any problems. So there's also other pathways and other products out there that also are an opportunity. So LifeVantage is looking, okay, where are the big needs that people have? How do we simplify this process of being healthy and biohacking our body's ability to heal and repair in different ways? So there's two major theories of aging. One is oxidative stress. So the more oxidative stress you have, the faster you age. The other one is mitochondrial dysfunction. So basically little powerhouses in your cells that make energy. Like if those bad boys work, fantastic. If they don't, then you age rapidly. And what they're finding, if you look at the slide on the right-hand side, it talks about different conditions that are related to mitochondrial dysfunction. So things anywhere from epilepsy to Parkinson's to Alzheimer's to diabetes, cancer, muscular dystrophy, autism, heart disease. So these are like, so any cell in the body has mitochondria. So if those cells can't produce energy, the cell either dies or mutates, right? Neither one are great options, right? So NRF1 is a switch that controls the body's ability to produce mitochondria and for those little guys to work like they're supposed to. So what that means is we're not now trying to make the mitochondria work better by giving them the things they need to eat. We're giving them the switch to turn them on so that they function better than they currently are. I always say with my kids, like, I don't want to supplement your income. Like, I don't want to supplement my kids' income the rest of their life. But I do want to activate their bodies, their ability to earn income, right? So that they can be successful in life or whatever that might be, right? So what we're doing, we're no longer supplementing, right? We've done that that's old technology, okay? That's Morse code, right? That's telegraphs, that's Pony Express. That's old technology. It's interesting to me that technology, we want the latest, greatest phone, latest, greatest computer because they're faster, better, quicker, right? They're not always cheaper, right? But in medicine, we're using old stuff. So what we're talking about is new technology. Most people don't know what it is. They won't know what it is for a while, but you can benefit today. So if you want to activate NRF2, you use Protandim NRF2. If you want to activate NRF1 or mitochondria, you use NRF1. So ProBio. What we're learning more and more about the digestive tract, and it ties into everything from brain and cognition to skin, right, to immune system, to energy production and our joints. Like if our digestive tract is not healthy, all sorts of autoimmune conditions happen, all sorts of things happen with our brain fatigue. So we're hearing a lot about the gut biome and the importance of probiotics and the importance of making sure your immune system isn't underactive or overactive, right? So LifeVantage just came up with a patented technology that they're using in a probiotic, so you get over 60% absorption versus 4%, and it's combined with a product called WellImmune, which helps the immune system to be normalized, not too high, not too low, just like Goldilocks, just right, because you don't want the immune system to overreactivate, and we don't want it to be underactive. So you combine those two products together, right, and that product WellImmune on Amazon, it's the same price as the whole probiotic that we have. Right, so having that combination is amazing, and watch what that does to affect a healthy digestive tract. And then omegas, why are those important? We know that if you have skin, if you have eyes, if you have brain, if you have hormones and you want them to function optimally, you have to have omega-3s. And our diets are super, super high in omega-6s, not omega-3s. Bottom line, what that means is our brains don't work as well, our skin's not going to be as young, and our hormones aren't going to work right. It's super, super rare that you see anybody, when I do lab tests, anybody had the normal omega-3 level. It's actually, I've never seen one without supplementation, ever. And I've done hundreds of them. All right, so if you're not taking omegas, you're having deficiency in your diet of them, which is affecting your brain, your heart, your skin, and your immune system, and every cell in your body. So then if you're gonna take one, because you don't eat cold water fish all the time, then which one are you gonna choose? So I love LifeVantage's product, because guess what? If I want fish, I want it fresh. I want freshest fish I can get, because I don't want to be tasting fishiness, right? So this omega-3, it's got the omega-3 ratio like it should. At the same time, it comes from a source that we can trace the bottle back to the boat where it was caught, so we know the waters are pure and clean. And I'm going to use that every 30 days. So I don't have to have it sit on my shelf for 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, 12 months when I see somebody bring a big old bottle of omega, then it's just like, oh my gosh, you're eating old dead fish, right? And that's going to affect your body's ability to perform it and make good new cells. So with this probiotic and omega-7s for weight management, it's a great option. And what's phenomenal to me is I'm watching lab tests and seeing the great change in not only the omega levels, but the vitamin D concentrations and how it's affecting people's labs. Huge, huge benefits. So let's simplify this a little bit when it comes to what we're talking about here. We're talking about what would you like to do to enhance your body's ability to perform and function well, right? So what control can you have? Everybody likes to have control, right? We don't like change so much. So one thing you can't control is your environment 100%. What you can control is what you put in your body and to have the most benefit you can. So I love the fact that LifeVantage come up with what they call stacks. Stacks of nutrients that we can utilize, and you get to choose which ones you want. So if you want to help your body's cells repair faster, that's the Nerf 2. If you want your body's ability to make more energy, that's the Nerf 1. If you want to have the omegas that are effective for your brain, skin, and eyes and hormones, that's the Omega Plus. If you want to have your body's digestive system work right, that's the ProBio. So I always ask, which one don't you want to support? So to me, I want to have a phenomenal sanitation department. I want to have a great energy production. I want to have electricity to my house. I want my plumbing working inside, right? And I want all the doors and windows working, right? So when you look at that, then they put in a stack where now it's free shipping, right? And everybody loves free shipping, but you have the ability to choose what you want. And if you want to make it even simpler, the company put in what's called a Vitality Stack Packet. So I love this from a convenience standpoint for me and my family. I'm not opening up bottles. I literally take one of these little packets and I hand it to each of my kids in the morning, and I take one as well. My wife just went up to Utah to see her grandma's not doing well. So I said, as we just gave her, here's 4 for when you go home, so you don't have to pop and bottle with it. And her stress is high, so of course I wanted to take our nutrients with her Axio. Okay, and then there's also other stacks that tie into how basically keeping your youthfulness from the inside, from the outside in as well. Let me talk about a few of those products real quick. So think about this technology, biohacking, activating your genes. One of the ways which they found is effective, they had an LSU study on skin cancers, melanoma specifically, and saw the effectiveness of nerve activation and that. So the Skin Foundation came out of LifeVantage. You need to make a product that's topical that people can put on themselves to help with the aging process externally and not only internally. So you see this individual has changed in the fine lines and wrinkles in a matter of 60 days by applying Nerve 2 technology on the outside. So if you want to look younger, you have the Nerve 2 technology on the outside. If you want to feel younger, you have the Nerve 2 technology and biohacking on the inside. What a phenomenal way to do that. Then just recently, they just pre-launched, and then the next official launch actually is later this month, the hair care. And if you look at the pictures on the right, like, unbelievable the change that people are seeing in their hair. And Ilene, I love your story of your daughter Nicole. Like, I've known Nicole forever. She's hilarious. And this is a little girl, guys, that we were excited when she could order her own Subway. Like, I remember mom came in, it's like she ordered her own Subway. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? Like, she went up, like, said what she wanted and ordered it. Like, that was a big deal, right? We all had a celebration. Now this little girl, she's now in college, something we never thought was possible. But the hair, I tell her the story on the hair.
Okay, so Nicole's hair has always been tangly. It's been a challenge to have, and then she always has this oily part in the front of her hair. And anyway, she did this new product, and she came into me. She's like, "Mom, I feel like I'm the Pantene model." I said, she flips her hair back and forth. And I can literally take my fingers through her hair any time of day now and make it all the way from the top to the bottom. I did not realize how much damage was on her hair from the products I was using, which I was buying some pretty expensive, what I thought were clean products. And after just 2 washings, we could tell a huge difference. And she's excited.
And it's fun to watch her because how excited she was, right? And it's not something I originally was excited about personally, but what blows my mind is somebody says, everybody needs shampoo. I'm like, yeah, and they're putting it on them, but what are they doing? And why are we doing it? We're not doing it because it's just like, we do it because like someone's smelling our hair, right? We're doing it because we want our hair to look and feel good, and it's how we perceive ourselves. So look at these pictures on the right of people's hair and the changes they've had in just a matter of a short period of time. And we're talking about game changers. We're talking about, like, look at these individuals' hair, where their hair looks so much thicker and fuller now. And we just in Lake Havasu, and one lady there was like, tell me, like, she's showing, look, I got hair now, like super thick, because this is literally allowing the body to biohack the ability to actually grow hair, right, and help the hair function. I can't really say grow hair, but there's a hair gel, and that was actually a study out of Europe that showed that outperforms the other hair products on the market that's designed to grow hair. So how crazy is that? Right.
And one other thing that excited me, because I was the same way, oh, I don't need a hair care product, but I did not understand, and here on the bottom of the screen it says that our skin absorbs 60% of toxins in 26 seconds, and the scalp and the forehead are 4 times the absorption rate. And I thought about it like, oh, it makes so much sense because we have so many hair follicles. We really need, and part of my process was getting rid of toxins in my environment, in my home and in my clothes and everywhere I could. And this was a piece of the puzzle I was missing, and I'm so excited to be able to have something that isn't toxic.
Yeah, and it's a good thing there's nothing important underneath our hair, right? Like our brain.
Right. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. Let's go to the next slide there.
Right.
So yeah, this is the product Axio that really caught my attention. And why don't we unmute Jessica there? So we want to kind of introduce you to Jessica. Now, this is my nephew's handwriting here on the left-hand side. And you'll see how it gets scattered. So a picture of a 9-year-old little boy, one of those kids that are in class, one of the last ones to get finished, right, struggling with anxiety. He started the Nerve 2 and the Axio. That's his handwriting a week later. So he went from one of those kids that was the first one to get things done, more focused, more able to concentrate. So when Axio was designed to address brain fatigue. So what that feels like for some people is anxiety, overwhelm, right? For other people, it's brain fog. For other people, it's that I just can't remember where my keys are. Other people, is like they don't feel like they're successful. So imagine if your brain was firing on all cylinders, how much more could you get done? How much better could you focus? How many relationships would that save, right? And I met Jessica through Ilene, and she's a physical therapist extraordinaire, right? Because what the type of physical therapy she does is so different and unique. And she met Ilene when Ilene was in a wheelchair, right? And didn't even recognize Ilene when they met again later. But Ilene kept talking to her about this, the whole LifeVantage, nutrigenomics, super cool stuff. But it wasn't until her daughter was struggling because some of the stress going in her life to where she was open to looking at the products. And Jessica, I'd love for you to share your story about what you saw with your daughter, but then what you saw with yourself, because you were afraid you wouldn't be able to practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited about this product Axio, because my options were to have my daughter tested for last year. She was in 4th grade, and her teacher was expressing her inability to stay focused in class and her disorganization and her less than favorable grades, C's, D's, and sometimes F's, which was unlikely for her prior to a stressful situation, which we had just gone through a divorce. And so she was having to deal with the increased stressors of all of that and transitioning to a different school again. And so I could see now in hindsight, the oxidative stress was taking over her body, because she was having a lot of meltdowns and she was not able to stay focused in school. So finally, Ilene was telling me about this, and her counselors were saying, you don't want to give her any kind of ADD testing, because that will lead to medications and, further, potential drug-related issues later in life. And so I definitely didn't want to go that route if I didn't have to. So I started looking for natural supplements, which, I found green tea extract, which I was giving her 500 milligrams in the morning and then 500 milligrams in the afternoon.
Woo!
Which was crazy amounts of caffeine. But at the same time, she was able to stay focused, because that reversed somehow. They were telling me that works in reverse. So I couldn't figure out how to maintain her at night, though, because I just couldn't come to terms with giving her another 500 milligrams at night when we were having meltdowns and having difficulty going to sleep. So I was sharing this with Ilene, who was a client of mine, and she was finally telling me, Jessica, this stuff has the green tea in it, and maybe try this. And so I finally did. And within about a week I could tell a major difference in her. Her grades started coming up. That was at the end of her 4th grade year. Now she's in 5th grade. Her teacher this year has no issues with her as far as any kind of behavioral issues. She hasn't brought up anything as far as disorganization. She made the honor roll her 1st quarter. So everything's just turned around for her because of this Axio. And I just really feel like she definitely attributes her success. And when she have it, then she knows as well. So she had a not so great couple of days because she hasn't been on it, and then had finally liked the new cherry kind. So she drank that at school, and she said immediately she came home from school, "Hey mom, you're right. I just needed to drink my Axio." So,
That's exciting.
yeah. So that, and you know, I was struggling as a physical therapist. I'm a aquatic manual therapy aquatic therapist, so I work with my hands in the water, and I'm constantly gripping my hands. And I was struggling with a injury within my hand. It wasn't quite carpal tunnel yet, but it was definitely stiffening to that point. My next option was cortisone injections. I had done the traditional physical therapy, acupuncture, and massage therapy, the whole gamut for 6 to 8 months. And I was at my wit's end. I was training other people to take over for my business so that I could get help from the job. And anyways, after 2 weeks on Protandim, I could close my hand again and open it, and it's just been a game changer. So I'm still working, and my daughter is getting good grades, and I can't be happier with these products. I'm so excited to share them. So thank you to Ilene for being persistent with me, because it took me 3 months to finally look at it. So I appreciate her persistence.
Well, I love the realness of that story, to Jessica. Here you are, you're a medical provider, right? And you're struggling, your own child's struggling, and you have great information, phenomenal knowledge. But again, you're just like that. Well, you didn't know what to do, and it wasn't a doctor or a friend of the doctor that told you about it, somebody that you were working with. But it took a difficulty in your life where you're open enough to look at. Now look at where you are, where you have not only have you had a great result with your family, but you're affecting so many lives of individuals now by sharing this information, where they've been able to help their friends and family. So it's been a blast to get to know you and to work with you over at Lake Havasu. And I'm excited for what we're creating for other people as well, and the opportunity that gives us, because sometimes what if you couldn't practice, right? And that's what allowed us in this business model with Network Marketing to help share with people, but also create a business also. So when things happen in life, like for me with breaking my knee, where I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what would I do if I could support my family? It really made look heavy into this business. For you as your hand, or for Ilene, it's like wanting to be able to feel like, how do I support my daughter? Like when I pass away, so the state or the government doesn't decide what kind of health care she has. So most of us want a plan B, but we haven't figured out how do we get to a plan B that's something we have passion about. At the same time, we can do in our part-time until maybe it becomes a full-time. And I know that's also what you're doing as well with sharing the information. So Ilene, I'd love for you to kind of fill in a little bit what you've seen with the business. We'll talk about here. There's weight management, which is the next slide. Is again, Nerve2 technology, nutrigenomics, weight management applied to help the body lose the body fat where it should. Phenomenal system individually and together. You can see the results somebody had. Then there's also this Nerve2 technology for animals, right? So if you want more information on those products and what they do, we can send you all sorts of fun research, right? But even with the research and Jessica being able to read it, and Ilene, I'm sure, trying to tell her the research, right? I know Ilene. Okay. It wasn't until she said, how will this help my child? Right? So when we're sharing with people something that might help their family, that's what we're doing. We're not trying to earn a buck. We're literally like, hey, this might change your life. But at the same time, most of us wake up in the morning, sometimes thinking about health, but a lot of times waking up like, how am I going to take care of my kid or my grandkid? Or how am I going to take care of my family? You know, how am I going to pay that bill? So what if there's a way to do both? What if there's something you could do where you could do in your part-time that could turn into a full-time income, and you do it by helping other people be successful? And is this the right time in your life? And is this the right timing as far as an opportunity? And I know with Ilene, there are different things she did, but she's also looked at this business of like, hey, what can I put my time and energy into? Remember, she had 2.5 hours of good function a day. So if you only had 2 hours to work a day, that's all the energy you have, what would you do? well, what if you did this? What could that turn into? So I think I'd love to share why you've done the business and what you see happening.
All right. So when of course, I started on the products before I even saw this meeting that I was invited to at Dr. Brimhall's office. But when I went to the meeting and I saw that primetime video, and like I told you, if it was 10% true, I'm going to try it. But then I saw this, and I've always believed in network marketing. My sisters and I have joined different network marketing companies just to buy the products at a discount. And I found out that it was always tough to join them because everyone already knew about oils. Everyone always knew about the new antioxidant drink. It wasn't a market that I felt like I had something special to give somebody. But when I looked at this, which is called the S-curve, which I am a college graduate, but I did not know about this. This S-curve that you see, the red line, shows a product or a company that is little known and then they are successful. So if you take, for example, the iPhone 1, there were few early adopters of iPhone 1, 2, and 3, and by iPhone 4, 5, and 6, they went into what they call momentum, to where now they're stabilized, and a lot of people call a phone an iPhone just because that's what it is. And this is a company that is right at the beginning of momentum, meaning that they have been tried and tested, their products are unique, and it's time for them to explode and have success financially for everybody who gets involved. And another thing that excited me was that there's very few people at the top, and it was a brand new business. So I actually joined this business in my mind when I was sitting in that meeting. It was like, this is a business I can actually do. And you know what? And like Dr. Brimhall was saying, my biggest concern was me passing away, because I have looked at that at certain times through the process of my disease process that I've been in. And I've always worried about my daughter and someone taking care of her. And what I did know with my belief system in natural products is that I didn't want the government making her lifestyle choices nor her medical choices. And if I could if I could earn enough money to get a residual income where she can just cash a check every month and live her best life, I could die more at peace. And fast forward, I don't know that she's going to need it, because you know what, she's getting her own career, she's going to college, so it's pretty exciting. But this is what excited me about the whole system, about LifeVantage. And so this is the other part that really hooked me into wanting to do this business, was this is the compensation. Because we are a publicly traded company, these are real numbers of what people take home. So we're from distributor to Master Pro 10. And as you can see, Pro 1 is an extra $79 a month, up to a Pro 4, which is what I am, at an extra $1,100 a month. And that's just money that just comes after I've done the work once. And that's what's exciting, is that I just keep building bigger and bigger. I'm not redoing the business. And up here at the Master Pro 10, and I'm going to round that, but that's $100,000 a month. I was a school teacher, and I was making what a Pro 9 would at $42,000 a year, and they're making that in 1 month. This is what got me excited. And so that's why I joined the business, and that's why I share it. And the other thing that I'm just going to say real quick about the products, I love that the products are the same price, whether they're for a distributor or whether they're for a customer. You don't join as a distributor unless you really want the business. If you want to take the products, I am so excited. I never want anyone to experience the despair that a disease can bring into your life and the loss of self-confidence that it brings. And take the products. They're all excellent. We have all of them in our home and use them. And if you want the business, this is how you get started in the business. Dr. Brimhall, do you have something?
So one of the things that I was just thinking about, and the business is just this, guys. Whoever invited you to this call, please get back with them. Just let them know what you're thinking. Again, like Ilene said, I love the fact that if you want the product good, there's no fees to join. You can get the product anytime you want. But if you want to be a distributor, there's 3-pack: gold, silver, and platinum, and it's all product, right? So think about if you wanted to have a worldwide business where you could create residual income. Residual income is this: it's money that you make after you do the work once. So you can be a rock star, you know, come up with a super cool song. Anytime somebody downloads it, listens to it, you can make money. You can write a book, get a royalty, or you can join a company where you can do the work once, and every time somebody gets product, you make a small portion of that. So most people's, Americans' financial planning is what they call Social Security. So you have to live to 69 and a half, and then you start collecting the stuff you paid in when you're 16 like me. All right. And I'm not sure that's the best financial plan. Okay. Or you can find something that can make money while you sleep. And so what do? We want to share with you this information. Here's all the products. So are you interested in pet care? Are you interested in energy drinks and brain energy? Are you interested in how you look? So with the hair care and the skin care, are you interested in longevity and wellness? Are you interested in weight loss and weight management? Well, the company has a niche tied to a brand new technology, right, that you can apply that into. So if you want to be a customer, great, get the products, get who invited you. If you want the business, let me touch on how you make the business work. Because literally, the other day, Saturday, I'm in Lake Havasu with Ilene, an instructor of mine that taught me nutrition class in chiropractic school. He's on the product now, diagnosed with a condition very similar to what Ilene was diagnosed with. I had Ilene talk to him. Him and I have a professional relationship, and I was his student. So why would I have Ilene share her story with him? Because I don't know what it feels like to not be able to walk. I don't know what it feels like not to have that hope. Ilene does. And I didn't want my instructor to quit before the magic happened. He'd been struggling for years. I found out about 4 months ago, or 5 months ago now, that he was now in a scooter. And I've known about this for 4 years. I wish I would have called in 4 years ago. So he could have had the benefit of taking it last 4 months like Ilene has. So that's the business. We're going to share with people this information that might change their life, but connect them with people that they might relate to so they know what's possible. Because what I've learned about residual bills is if you don't pay them, they keep sending you a bill. Okay? What I've learned about health is the longer we ignore a problem, the bigger the problem gets and the harder it is to fix. So what we have from a product standpoint is the ability to allow the body to heal and repair a way that we have before. In a business model, we have a way to build and create a residual income for years to come. So the way you're successful at this is different than traditional business. If I help other people become more successful than me, they get paid more. So the more successful I am at coaching, training, mentoring, the more successful they are, and the more successful I am. Okay? I love that. Okay? And it helps, the more I can help them, the more that helps me. If I train somebody to be better than me in a traditional business, they take my job, right? We know that in the corporate world. Okay, one of the things that this company has is called Elite Bonus Pool, which basically means they reserve 4% of revenue every month, and they split it between the top leaders. So what that means is that when you hit Pro 7 through Pro 10, which is this Elite Pool down at the bottom, they reserve 4% just between those top leaders. So if you're a Pro 7, you get 1%, a Pro 8 gets 2%, a Pro 9 can get 3%, a Pro 10 gets all 4%. And so I hit this. I'm a Pro 7 in the company. I hit this a year ago. So when I hit that, I'd been involved with the company 3 years. I was sharing in the work since 2009. So I hadn't talked to anybody, right? From 2009 to 2014, then I started. So I was sharing a work that began 5 years before I even knew about it. So that doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter who you are when you start. Is when you hit that, you didn't share on the work that everybody does. So that creates a different culture in this company where everybody wants to help each other become successful. All right? So let me end with this. Whoever invited you, give them a shout. Let them know what your thoughts are. Do you see yourself taking the product? Which ones? Okay. Give it time to work it, to do it. Let us do it. We don't have to guess if it works. It works in 100% of mammals, 100% of the time. We just don't know how you're going to experience it. All right. And then I would ask this question. If you know you have stress in your world and you know you're aging, what other better option do you have? Right. So for me, my mom passed away 10 years ago from cancer. Her mom was 97. Her dad was 92 or 93. She should still be alive to this day. But because of things we didn't know and the way her genes were affected, I do this preventatively for me and all my kids to help combat the things that I don't even know are there. because this is the best thing that I know is possible to do for them. But also the same is with business, right? I spent the last 4 years doing this part-time to build up a plan B that's turning quickly into a plan A so that I can help impact more lives, but also so we can create more residual income for really good people so that they can live the life they're designed to live, whether that's being a mom, whether that's being a dad, whether that's being, wanting to be a mentor and a coach and have more time to do that, whatever it is. So let the person know, invite you, what you see yourself doing, doing the product, or you have questions on the business. We appreciate you being on this call. Ilene, thank you for inviting me to do this with you. It's been an awesome journey. I'm looking forward to the journey coming forward. Jessica, thank you for sharing your story. So many people's lives are being touched right now. So people's names you thought of tonight, as you listen to us talk and share, please share with them this information. Let them make the decision on what's right for them. So other than that, you guys have a fantastic night. Look forward to seeing you guys in the future. And Ilene, I look forward to recording.
All right. Thank you.